Hi everyone, I'm John C. Morley, the host of the JMOR Tech Talk Show and Inspirations for Your Life. Well, hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It's great to be with you on the JMOR Tech Talk Show on another fantastic Friday. We are just 1 week away, guys, from, yes, Halloween. Have you decided what you're going to be for Halloween? I'm not sure. Maybe I'm going to wear something for Halloween on the show. Not really sure yet. Haven't decided. All right, guys, it's great to be with you. And if this is your first time with us on the JMOR Tech Talk Show, I want to welcome you personally. If you're coming back, well, welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back. I'm glad you enjoy the content that I produce here for the JMOR Tech Talk Show and much of my other content, which incidentally you can view, watch, and read 24 hours a day after the show, that is, at believemeachieve.com. Very easy to get to, believemeachieve.com. You can get to it from your phone, from your computer. It's mobile friendly, so you can do that just about everywhere. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're thirsty, I don't want you to be parched during the show. Feel free to go grab yourself some RO water, maybe another snack, a beverage, fruit, nuts. Totally up to you. Absolutely delicious, cool, and refreshing. And I encourage you to come right on back so we can kick this show off. All right, everyone? So again, a very, very big, warm welcome to everyone that is here with us today. I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. And again, it is a privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you. I am also a video producer, podcast host, and a podcast coach. And I'm also a passionate lifelong learner and a graduate student. And it is such a privilege and pleasure to be with you here to inspire you in many different ways. Incidentally, the title for today's show is Shutdowns, AI Surges, and Digital Drama. And that is Series 4, Show 43, guys. That's right. Drama. When tech turns the world upside down, it is. So again, I welcome you to today's episode where I explore the latest tech upheavals shaking our world, from sudden shutdowns and AI breakthroughs to digital controversies and innovations around the world. Technology continues to rewrite the rules of business, society, and, guys, daily life. So I'll unpack 14 amazing stories here today that reveal how tech can disrupt, well, markets, jobs, security, and even family dynamics. Are you ready, guys? Let's dive in. All right. So number one is a really cool one, and that is America's numbers go dark. Ooh, that sounds like very, very eerie, doesn't it? Yeah, America's numbers go dark. And data blackout sparks, markets to go all different ways in chaos, and a sudden blackout of critical U.S. data sent shockwaves through the global markets, underscoring how reliant economies are on real-time information flows. Investors scrambled as key financial indicators just vanished from the earth, reminding us that behind every digital system lies a fragile infrastructure vulnerable to disruption. That's right, any infrastructure. So we always have to make sure, guys, that we have a good backup, right? We have a very, very good backup. I think that's important to understand. So a government shutdown has, as I said, blinded the world to America's financial reality, and global markets are panicking left and right. Leaders just lost the data they depend on to steer economies, manage risks, and set new policies. When the top economy pulls the plug on facts, uncertainty spreads faster than headlines. If U.S. numbers stay hidden, can anyone trust what comes next? I don't know, guys. This is really crazy. So the government is closed. How long has the government been shut down? Great question. So the government has been shut down. In 2018, they were shut down for 3 days. In 2018 to 2019, they were shut down for 35 days. So in 2025, we're at 24 days. So we're not at the worst possible experience that we've had with a shutdown. And the question is, so when will they vote again for the shutdown, to resume? Well, the last government shutdown vote was just several hours ago today, and the Senate is in recess until next week. What does that mean for the government shutdown? Well, the U.S. Senate is in recess until next week, meaning that the now 24-day long government shutdown is likely to continue at least through the weekend. The last vote on the stopgap bill to fund government through November 21st failed after a 54-46 vote on October 23rd, which actually was yesterday. While three senators who caucused with the Democrats, including Maine Independent Senator Angus King, have joined Republicans to support the bill, they need another 5 to reach the 60-vote threshold needed to pass. So we are making progress. The question is, how much longer? How long is this going to take? It's costing everyone lots of money. Democrats have only hardened their position as the government shutdown enters its 24th day, leaving Republican majorities in Congress, well, with few answers and many criticisms. For the 12th time, Senate Democrats blocked the Republican Party's government funding legislation this week without a single senator switching his or her vote. Just 3 Democratic caucus members voted for the bill. John Fetterman, Democrat, Pennsylvania; Catherine Cortez Masto, Democrat of Nevada; and Angus King, Independent of Maine. That means Republicans are still 5 votes shy of the 60-vote threshold needed to ensure passage of the bill, just as they have been since before the government shutdown more than 3 weeks ago. Question is, how long is it going to last? Well, your guess is as good as mine. But one thing is for sure, as this government shutdown is still moving ahead, many of the services that the government provides that a lot of people need are being shut down and are also unavailable. You go to websites like we talked about, Do Not Call and things like that, and they're still down. All right, guys. So number 2, AI Zaps, India's call center. Empire Chatbots shake up job security. India's call center sector, that is, employing millions, and they face massive disruption as AI chatbots automate customer service roles. While businesses benefit from lower costs and efficiency, workers confront uncertainty, highlighting the urgent need for retraining and policy support in an AI-driven future. I think this is hard for a lot of people to understand, but this is what's happening right now in our world, and not everyone likes it. In fact, I don't think anyone really likes it, unfortunately. So India's call centers, they're experiencing this AI shakeup. As I said, replacing thousands of support jobs, answering questions in multiple languages and working nonstop. Startups like LimeChat promise companies can cut staff by 80%, but behind the tech buzz, many workers are scrambling to adapt or facing unemployment. As India bets big on automation, will there be enough new opportunities, or is this the start of massive job crisis trends? The world is watching how this experiment plays out. It's going to be interesting, guys. Very, very, very interesting. Well, speaking about water, guys, I love my RO water here, and it is absolutely delicious and filtered 7 times. But AI's water guzzle threatens Scotland. Future tech's thirst goes real. AI data centers require massive water supplies for cooling, raising environment concerns in places like Scotland. Now, this highlights the hidden ecological footprint of digital technology. A reminder that innovation must balance progress with sustainability. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. I've had some people, when I was posting this week, telling me, oh, that's not true, that's not true. So the big question is, and it's a great question to ask, is it true that data centers guzzle lots of water. So the thing is this, it is true. Many people, but many say they recycle. So what does that mean? So they consume enormous quantities of water. Many lean companies are also investing heavily in water recycling and reuse to mitigate their environmental impact. A large data center can use up to 5 million gallons of drinking water daily, enough for thousands of households. The rapid growth. So the question is, and this is a great question, I think, to ask for everyone is, what's actually going on? Is this something that we're aware of, or is this some propaganda? So if the data centers, recycle, how much water will they lose per day? And I think that's a great question to ask. Even with recycling systems, data centers can lose hundreds of thousands to millions of gallons of water per day, primarily through evaporation. The exact amount varies significantly depending on the data center size, cooling technology, and location. So I know a lot of you have commented in my post saying that that's not true. It is true, guys. It is true. Maybe you don't want to believe it, but it is true. And many of you guys know that I've been a member of the press for now going to be over 8 years. The Pentagon locks out the press. Ooch. Yes. Transparency on trial in D.C. The Pentagon's move to restrict press access has ignited debates about government transparency and accountability in an age of information warfare. The tension between national security and public oversight has never been more acute than right now. I think a lot of people don't want to hear this, but I'm telling you something, guys. This is the truth. This is what's going on. All right. Definitely what's going on. So historic press restrictions are forcing journalists to turn in their Pentagon badges. As access is cut, reporters refuse to be silenced, vowing to keep holding the world's most powerful military accountable, no matter the barriers. And the thing is, it's not even about things that are somewhat confidential or fully confidential. They just don't want to disclose anything right now. And I think that's a very, very bad move on our government. Is it that they don't want to be accountable? Is it they don't want transparency? I don't know. But I know one thing, being a part of the press and taking journalism and videography very seriously, truth has to prevail all the time. Number 5, guys, AI Chargers are turning refueling into stand-up comedy. Electric vehicle humor hits the road, electric vehicle chargers, and they're powered by the AI, and they're injecting humor into the refueling process, making charging stops, well, a little more entertaining. This quirky innovation shows how AI can enhance user experience beyond pure functionality. And I think, when you go to the gas station, now in New Jersey, there's basically the fact that you need to have somebody fill your tank. But in other states, it's not illegal. So people ask me, what other states, do they not have self-gas pumping? And, if we're to look at this on a scale, I think the other one right now, so you have New Jersey must use a gas station attendant, and also as of August 2023 is no longer the only other state that prohibits self-gas pumping. A new law allows drivers to choose between using an attendant or self-pumping their own gas. So Oregon used to be, but now it looks like New Jersey is the only state that is requiring a gas attendant. Eesh. That's crazy, guys. And I say that is really crazy. So AI Chargers, they talk, they advise, they, cultivate comedy and entertain drivers charging their EVs. And it just got a little smarter. The Electric Era's news stations use AI to chat, answer your questions, and even crack a joke, as I said, while you power up. This is more than just a charge. It's an interactive pit stop that turns wait time into, well, a connected experience. My only question is, if they're doing this, is this data really safe? Are people at risk of, let's say, exposing their privacy? I think that's a very, very big issue. Number 6, guys. Appliance Cheating Probe Ends. Is it just typos? Fraud turns into, a major investigation into appliance energy fraud, and it ended up revealing a mere typographical set of errors. This episode highlights how initial alarms can give away to relief and the importance of thorough fact-checking in tech oversight. I think sometimes, we might be in a rush, but it's always important to double-check and triple-check your facts. So the feds clear the appliance makers, no evidence of widespread tariff cheating, after a major probe sparked by Whirlpool's accusations. Federal investigators say the U.S. appliance importers played by the rules. Data drops that looked suspicious turned out to be data entry errors, not tariff fraud. The trade war drama just fizzled out with a whimper, not a bang. Now, my question is, was it really a typographical error, or is that the case that the attorneys in their company, put forward, that it was an innocent mistake? I don't know. I just have a hard time believing that was, typographical errors. But that's the case that they played, and seems like they won. And airport eGates / security lines, they say smile and breeze through travel airports, implementing AI-powered eGates. And they have supposedly dramatically cut security wait times, improving traveler satisfaction. And this tech advancement blends efficiency with, convenience in a sector where time is very precious. A quick note on this, guys. I was traveling, if you guys know, last week. And I'm coming back because my school was closed for fall break. When I was coming back from Louisville, Kentucky, leaving was no problem using Clear. But coming back, they actually didn't have the full Clear lanes. They had a mobile lane. I'm like, what the heck is a mobile lane? Like, that's ridiculous. So a mobile lane is where you have to either download the app or go to their website and verify your face. It does it with just a picture now, no fingerprints, nothing else, just your face. And then you show that to the agent that you are verified, and then you walk through the line. I don't know. So that's something new they're doing. It's called the mobile verification process. But I think a lot of people, are not looking for changes, right? Clear's new eGates are slashing airport security time. I said, skipping the TSA line, Clear has launched the high-tech eGates that match your face to your ticket, letting you breeze to your flight in seconds. 5 airports are rolling out this game changer, setting a new standard for fast, frictionless travel. And so you might be wondering, and this is a great question to ask, because I think a lot of people are probably having this question, what airports have rolled out the new eGates by Clear. And so as of today, airports that have rolled out Clear's new eGates have been Hartsfield-Jackson, Atlanta International Airport, Ronald Reagan Washington Airport, Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, LaGuardia Airport, Cincinnati Northern Kentucky International Airport. So very, very interesting what's going on. And you might be asking, so, what is an eGate? So really simply, an eGate is a way for you to board the plane with just your face. So the eGate by Clear, it's an automated self-service security lane at airports. It uses facial recognition to verify identity, allowing them to skip additional biometric kiosks. So this is what they mean. So if you have Clear, you can go through that very quickly. It's part of the public-private partnership between Clear and the TSA to streamline airport security and reduce wait times. So members who do want to use the eGate can verify instantly at the eGate. But the question is, do you have to be a member of Clear? And I think that's a question that a lot of people were asking. It's an automated self-service biometric gate that verifies your identity for the airport. You do not have to be a member of Clear to use eGates, as they are an opt-in feature for paying members of their airport security program. So instead of going to a ClearPod or TSA podium, you can go directly to an eGate. The eGate uses face-first technology to instantly verify your identity against your ID and boarding pass. After successful verification, you can proceed directly to baggage screening. It significantly speeds up the process, reducing the need for human TSA agents to manually check your documents. So I think this is going to be something we're going to see in the beginning. Remember, I said you may want to opt out. So the question is, what if you want to opt out of eGate? Can you? You can inform an agent before you use the system, decline at the time of use, or proceed through the manual lane. So it is not being forced. Again, I don't like when they grab more data on you. I'm sorry. All right. So with everything happening with the government shutdown, all right, this is something that I think is pretty cool, is that services are still down, like the one I told you about from the donotcall.gov. So what does that mean to everyone? I think that's the question. It means that RoboCall Tsunami is here due to the shutdown. Unleashes all kinds of spam on phones, and it's under siege. Efforts to shut down robocalls, let's say, unexpectedly triggering a surge in spam calls, overwhelming users globally. And this digital backlash exposes the challenges in regulating communication technology effectively. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize, that the government is responsible for policing this. And if they don't police it, it's a problem. So Do Not Call registry shuts down. Robocalls win during the government shutdown. The government shutdown has silenced the Federal Trade Commission's national Do Not Call registry. That means no new registrations, no complaints, and more unwanted calls for everyone. Until funding returns to the government, protecting your phone number is on pause just when robocallers are looking for an opening spot. They're getting it. It's sad what's happening in the world of some security. Now, they say that anything that's required for life will not be stopped, but so robocalls don't have anything to do with your life, but they are an annoyance and a nuisance. So I guess nuisances are allowed during the government shutdown. I don't know. I think this whole thing is this biggest joke. Anyway, number 9, Meta's parental power play now on teen AI chats. Parents can now get the off switch. Meta's new tools allow parents to manage their teenagers' AI chat interactions, addressing growing concerns about digital safety and privacy. This feature marks a new chapter in responsible AI adoption and family dynamics online. But are people really ready for this? I think that's our biggest concern. So Meta responds, and parents now have the ability to control teens' AI chats. Meta's giving parents the power to block their teens' private AI chats after the backlash of over 50, more than 50, I should say, over basically what they're finding to be many flirty chatbots. And these new controls launch early in 2026, so parents can shut off AI character chats and block specific bots, bringing real protection to Instagram and beyond. So I think that's good they're doing it. But, Facebook, Meta, they really didn't have a choice. I mean, they were getting pushed and pummeled from all different directions. So, Meta had to respond, or they were going to have like an anarchy, on their hands. Number 10, guys. South Korea's Robo Army on parade. Tech takes the front line. South Korea showcased its robotic military units demonstration, showing how AI and robotics are becoming a strategic defense priority. This signals a future where warfare and security are increasingly automated. But I think people are scared with the potential and the outcomes and what's happening. So Seoul just kicked off the 8X 2025 and their biggest arms fair ever with 600 companies from 35 countries. And the star of the show, an AI-powered set of weapons that fight without crews, from automated howitzers to suicide drones that pick their own targets. Attention's set to rise with North Korea. South Korea's defense tech is getting scary smart. Ooh, that's I always said we have to keep a human in the loop, and it doesn't look like they're keeping a human in the loop. So that might be something that a lot of us are concerned with. I've always said to you, technology is not good. It's not bad. It's a tool, and how we choose to use it that actually, that makes it so. So I don't know, guys. It's very interesting, what's going on and what's happening in our world. But I think a lot of people don't understand the importance of having a human still in the loop. Okay, they do not understand what that's about. And so when we think about military or we think about self-defense, everybody always wants to be more efficient. This isn't like an ad campaign manager on Facebook or Google. The learning for this is potentially someone's life. So the data points that it processes, well, that's kind of scary. And if there's no human in the loop, well, I hate to see how that's going to make a decision because it might decide wrong, right? We know that AI is wrong. So, I mean, this is probably a good question. What percentage, I don't know if you guys know, of the time is AI wrong? What do you think it is? Depends on lots of things. Now, they claim it can achieve accuracy 90-95% of the time. I don't buy that. I think that's a marketing nonsense ploy. Right? It's a big marketing nonsense ploy. So that's important, guys, really important. And I think as we evolve as a society and as, the entire world, more people are going to be plexed with this idea and saying, well, gee, what does this mean to us, right? What does it mean to us? Number 11, guys, the chip crisis. What does it do? Well, it freezes car factories. It's a really simple concept to understand. No chips, no cars, big trouble. The global chip shortage has halted numerous car factories, revealing the fragility of supply chains and the critical role semiconductors technology plays in manufacturing and our economy. Ooh, that just sounds like something that's not going to get fixed overnight. And you're right, it's not. Automaker groups warns of the fast-moving supply. And a China-Dutch chip standoff could halt car production in the United States and beyond. Industry leaders warn about this. Auto giants and all your favorites say that certain chips will be disrupted in the supply chain as it threatens factories as soon as, well, next month. That's October. When chips stop, so do cars. And nobody really understands something until it affects them directly. I think that's probably one of the biggest things I can say here. Nobody understands how something affects them until it personally touches their lives. Number 12, guys, game-changing MacBook touchscreen leak. Apple's creative revolutions ahead leaks suggest Apple's upcoming MacBook may feature a touchscreen, blending versatility with its signature design. And this hints at a creative leap that could redefine user interaction with laptops. That's an interesting, path that Mac is taking. So Apple is reportedly prepping the first high-end MacBook Pro with a touchscreen, and hole punch display set for late 2026 or early 2027. Big changes coming for creators and power users. So as you probably know what a touchscreen is. So this is probably a good question to ask you. What is a hole punch display in a laptop? Because maybe you haven't heard about that before. So a hole punch display on a laptop is a screen design where the front-facing camera is housed in a small circular cutout directly on the screen rather than in a larger notch or a thick bezel. This allows for a more immersive edge-to-edge viewing experience by maximizing screen real estate. And this design is a more minimal and sleek alternative to traditional rectangular notches found on many laptops and some smartphones. So this concept is not new because it's been around for a while, but Apple's choosing to implement this. And again, it's a front-facing smartphone camera lens within the screen rather than in a cutout. That's pretty cool. So the design has become the norm in high-end smartphones. However, some users complain that it takes away screen space where text might be displayed. So now you're actually losing real estate space on the screen. I think I'd rather not lose the real estate space on the screen and have it be a notch on the phone. That's just my personal opinion, but I mean, this is something that is starting to become, well, a little bit controversial in the industry. So in 2026 or early 2027, big changes are coming for creators and, yes, power users. Walmart. What's Walmart up to these days? Walmart shopping goes AI with ChatGPT. Chat your way to savings, they say. Walmart integrates ChatGPT into its shopping experience, offering personalized assistance and smarter deals. This marks a step toward AI-driven retail that enhances convenience and customer engagement. Now, you might be asking, and it's a great question, when will Walmart Chat GPT be available? And I think that's a great question. So it's expected to be available. They're saying it's supposed to be available already this month. They announced the partnership on October 14th, and they're saying it's going to be very, very soon. So customers will be able to use the instant checkout feature in ChatGPT to buy products from Walmart by conversing with the AI. The feature will allow for purchases of nearly everything on the Walmart website, with the exception of fresh food. Walmart Plus benefits members to give the ability, so they'll still be able to access their benefits, such as free shipping when making purchases through ChatGPT. It seems like everybody's following the lines of Amazon, right? So Walmart says customers will soon be able to use ChatGPT to check out. The country's largest retailer announced the partnership with OpenAI that they say will create a more personalized shopping experience. Again, I have a very big question, and that is, where is the data being stored? Where is the data going? So I think we're going to see more. It might not just be Walmart. We may see this with Target. We may see this with BJ's, Costco, and other places, maybe Macy's. So I think depending on how this goes, this could be a very big point as to what's going to happen, okay? I think that's a very important thing to definitely to understand. And number 14, guys, Instagram's PG-13 teen protection update. Safer scrolling, Instagram rolls out this new safety set of features aimed at teens, including content filters and usage limits. These updates respond to growing calls for responsible social media use among younger audiences. So important. Now, I thought I would share something with you that there are many features not working on the latest 26.0. And so one of the features not working is you can't save a star or pound in the phone number. I don't know if you guys know that. So you can't. And that's a big problem. I mean, that's a really, really big problem. So the thing is, you can't. You can't. When the question is, my question is, when will you be able to, add star or pound to phone numbers in the iPhone? And I don't know. I'm really disappointed that they didn't properly test this. I'm also disappointed with something else that doesn't work. A big issue is you can't select everything very easily. That's a very, very big problem. So there's a lot. Camera failures and Face ID oddities are happening to different people. Not everyone, but they are happening. So that's one thing. Random no internet despite full bars. It just happens like out of the blue for no particular direct reason. No signal after updating. You need to basically power the phone off, power it back on. If that doesn't work, you go to settings, privacy, security, blocking mode. If it's enabled, turn it off. And that sometimes gets turned on through an update. CarPlay connection and scaling glitches are another one. AirPods not connecting. You need to forget the AirPods in settings and Bluetooth and then refine them again. Battery drain, heat, and model download stuck. I haven't experienced those, but some of the ones I told you about was the one with, trying to check your email and you want to be able to delete. You can't delete. You have to go in, and otherwise you have to hold and you have to swipe down. It's a very convoluted process. The select option does not work. It's like the all doesn't work. So that's really, really terrible. The action button mute is missing on the iPhone 16 Pro, which that's a whole other story in itself. Some people have legibility issues. iMessage and FaceTime not activating after iOS 26. That's happening to some people. You can go to settings, messages, toggle iMessage off on, settings, FaceTime, toggle FaceTime off on, and that should hopefully fix the issues. So I think they've got some issues that they need to fix. I don't know when they're going to come out with the new version, but I know that there definitely needs to be some fixes. Not getting overheating, thankfully, but some people I know are getting overheating. Some people are having issues with the iPhone is freezing after the iOS 26. I did not have that, thankfully. Weather app location settings are changing on their own without you doing it, almost like there's a gremlin in your phone. Can't send or receive calls, message, or emails. Just toggle airplane mode on or off and then back on again. Unable to move icons between screens, restart your phone. Otherwise, go to settings, general, transfer, reset home screen layout. Messaging works for 2 hours and then it freezes. Again, this is not things I've had. These are issues other people have had, and they've been quite annoying. Missing icons after an overnight update. Can't access or delete reading list items. Font scaling issues. But the biggest one I have is, there is iOS 26.0 is missing the select all for email. And the thing is this, Apple has been focused on rolling out new stuff, okay? It's good that they're doing that, but I think they've got to make sure the old stuff works first. So in iOS 26, the select all button is missing using the select option. So since updating iOS 26, the select option in Mail has disappeared when entering select mode. This affects both iCloud and Exchange accounts, so any account you have or regular Mail account, Pop, IMAP. The new categories view makes things worse and just adds more confusion. So we're asking people to please restore that. One person said, I was reading some of the board messages, Apple's not there. They won't see or respond to bug reports posted in user forums. If you want an Apple employee to see your issue, he says, I invite you all to take advantage and basically report the issue on Apple's website. So Apple says they're minor inconveniences. They're not major. My big concern here, Apple, is that you don't test things properly. You make big claims that things are going to work, but then they don't, right? So when is a new version of 26 coming out? I mean, hopefully that's going to fix things. So a new version of iOS 26.1 is expected to be released by the end of October or early November, so hopefully before Thanksgiving. This is based on Apple's release history. The update is currently in beta, and the final release is scheduled to be out in October. They're saying the 27th, but I will not hold my breath. So you're probably going to say, what does it fix? And I think that's a great question. What's going to be fixed? It's expected to be released, as I said, by the end of October. It's anticipated to be released and hopefully to fix the liquid glass customization so it actually works. The lock screen swipe, camera swipe, will allow users to disable the swipe to camera gesture on the lock screen. Apple Intelligence support for Apple Intelligence will be expanded to 8 new languages. Okay. So I'm glad they're doing this, but who cares about the new features? I want the old features to be fixed. I think a lot of development folks have this issue, and I've been developing for a long time. You got to focus on the core. You can't worry about new stuff. You got to fix what first doesn't work now, right? I mean, I don't know, guys. I think that's just common sense, but I don't know if common sense exists anymore because it doesn't seem like a lot of people have it. And the question you might be asking is, why does Apple have so many bugs? I mean, I think that's the biggest question of all. Due to software complexities, aggressive annual release schedules, and a prioritization of new features over refinement. Well, Apple, you should really get a clue and fix your old crap first, and then worry about the new features. Who cares about the new features? Fix what doesn't work first. Although Apple does make efforts to address bugs, and they claim has a large user base for beta testing, the large size of software potential for human errors and increasing overlap of features across different operating systems contribute to the problem. So I think this aggressive schedule needs to be cut down, but Apple has always been buggy. I've noticed Apple's bugs just getting worse. I think if they actually, took the time to fix things properly, that's going to be an important point, okay? It's going to be a very, very important point. And I'm looking right now. I'm looking to see what version I have right now. So it looks like my update should be, just want to see what version I have on here right now. So it looks like I have 26.01, but I got to tell you, I'm looking for something even better. This update still hasn't fixed many of the issues. So 26.01 is what I have. The new version is supposed to be 26.1. So this is a good question. So 26.01 is different than 26.1. Okay, that can be a little bit confusing. So people are asking, is that the same iOS? Because I think Apple confuses us with this. And 26.01, good question, is not the same as 26.1. They are two different versions. 26 is the major operating system. Okay. 26.01 is the first minor update. That's how they define it. And 26.1 is a more substantial update that follows a major version release. It often includes new features, more extensive bug fixes, and general refinements that were not ready for the initial launch. So I'm definitely going to be letting you guys know whether that fixes it or not. It's frustrating that, we have to be able to do things like this. I think a lot of times people just don't get something, and then they get frustrated because something doesn't work, okay? And when I say something doesn't work, and now that could basically take them away from ever buying the product again. I mean, I think that's an important thing. You have to think about a brand. You have to think about a reputation. And right now, guys, Apple, in my eyes, doesn't seem to be testing enough. You look at something. I mean, the fact that when I upgraded my phone, which you guys know I did just in September, all my thousands of emails came down. That should have never, ever happened. So that was another bug, and they claim, well, it was just a bug. But, not being able to get my email, or not being able to delete all my email, that took a while to delete some of those messages. That was a real pain, guys. I mean, a real pain. And there's not much that you can do about it. All right? Not much you can do about it. And I think a lot of people, they get frustrated day in and day out, okay? And when I say they get frustrated day in and day out, I mean they just don't want to do anything new. A lot of people, if you ever noticed, they don't like change. Okay, they don't like change. So before we wrap up today, so what is new in AI with the government shutdown? That's probably the biggest thing I would like to talk about right now. So the government shutdown is stalling progress on AI initiatives such as the AI Action Plan and the development of the AI infrastructure and education by reducing staff and funding in key agencies, while some AI products and services remain available through contracts like OneGov. The shutdown creates uncertainty for implementation, cybersecurity, and long-term planning. The disruption hinders the government's ability to try and adopt AI and maintain competitiveness, though some private sector AI advancements continue independently. The delays in installed progress AI Action Plan, the White House's AI Action Plan relies on agencies like the Commerce Department and the Office of Science and Technology policy to lead implementation, but the shutdown has reduced staff and reduces the resources in these areas. AI infrastructure and education is also another problem. A funding lapse could disrupt the effort to build AI infrastructures and implement AI educational programs, such as training for educators to integrate AI tools into classrooms. So there's definitely a big shift there. Lots of uncertainty, lots of halted implications, loss of momentum, as we know. And I think a lot of people today are frustrated. You might be saying, John, so, what tech is down because of the government shutdown, beside AI? And I think what we're going to find is that there is a lot. You may not really think there is, but people that deal with technology day in and day out, just like I told you about the donotcall.gov, that was a huge, right? That was a real huge one. And so, the National Science Foundation, I mean, they're looking for other companies and not-for-profits to manage the weather right now because it's uncertain as to what's going on. The government shutdown means a lot for tech, okay? We talked about the AI plans, right? The Federal Trade Commission is furloughed. Everyone except the last standing Republican commissioner and a few essential staff members are the only ones there right now. The Bureau of Labor Statistics suspension of operations means economic data, including a tech jobs report, will not be released. Many employees who keep the government's programs running are now furloughed, pausing major resource efforts and making key tech deadlines tough to meet or even come close to. I think these are very important things. So this could derail AI for a little while. And I think a lot of people are concerned. It's cutting off data that you paid for. That's the best way to explain it. Cutting off data that you paid for with your tax dollars. But it's your right as an American taxpayer to get these numbers, these reports. If you want them, after all, you paid to collect them. The fact that they're not available right now, well, that's just pretty unprofessional, if you ask me. What's at stake in the next week possible with the government shutdown? Again, there's a lot. There are lots of different programs. And I think a lot of people today think, oh, I don't need that. We could just shut that down. We've talked about, they talked about the mass firings. The federal workers don't want to shut down, but some say it's okay. Well, they know they're eventually going to get paid. If it takes a government shutdown to change what's happening, to their agencies, some federal workers say, bring it on. Many federal workers are unhappy with the way their agencies are running. The employees say they would not support closing the federal government under normal circumstances, given that they lose pay. This time, however, they feel they've been under siege all year and are just out of options. So they need to do what's right for everyone. I think that's hard for a lot of people to digest. But the thing is, with the way the bill is floating and not going anywhere, it's causing big problems. Federal workers erupt over the latest White House threats to withhold their pay. They're not happy about it. You wouldn't be happy about it either. And they threatened to fire thousands in the shutdown. Okay. The shrugs are coming even from lawmakers who represent large swaths of federal workforce. So I think these are very important, valid concerns, right? And you might be saying, well, gee, this doesn't affect me. Maybe it doesn't affect you directly, but it does. And it is a disaster. Congress is basically bursting at the seams because they have no plan. And I'm just so shocked that, and I don't really get political. I'm just so shocked that, we're having another shutdown, right? Again, lots of stuff is continuing to work, but think about all those people that are not getting paid. I think they just approved to pay the first responders and emergency medical workers and stuff like that. And the troops, they're paying those people. But this isn't really the right way to be addressing things. I mean, that's my feeling, right? There's got to be more to this than that. All right, that's got to be a very, very important thing, guys. A very, very important thing, because if we don't understand how the government works and what they're doing, they can just pull the wool over our eyes anytime they want. From data blackouts to AI innovations and digital dramas, the tech landscape, well, it's morphing and evolving at breakneck speeds every day. Now, while these advances bring exciting opportunities, they also pose new challenges and threats, from environmental impact to job security and also our own privacy. I think this shutdown, the positive side, I'm seeing it as a retreat. Hopefully the people that have voted to not reopen the government are starting to maybe realize that their stubbornness is wasting a lot of the government's money. I don't care who it's Republican, whether it's Democrat. I just can't believe that we can't agree on a bill to get funded for just November, just not even a month. This is so petty. It's so crazy. I don't get political. But again, how long can something like this go on? I mean, that's the question I just want to examine right now. How long will the shutdown last? It's hard to say. It's very hard to say. I don't have an answer. And a lot of people are just getting more and more frustrated. The longer the shutdown lasts, the harder it is to mask the serious problem that's keeping it down. I mean, when you go to the White House, okay, and you see on the White House's page, the White House page says shutdown. It's White House. It's whitehouse.gov is what it equates to, and they have this like clock. And it says right on it, Democrats have shut down the government. Click here to find your rep. That's pretty sad. Pretty bad, actually. Usually people stand for a cause, right? But it looks, unfortunately, guys, that there is no end in sight. With the administration, the way it's going, there is no end in sight right now. It's definitely going to go into the next week. Might even go through to Halloween. The next vote's expected on Monday. And I don't know. It doesn't look like it's going to pass again. They recently said, actually President Trump said that he's terminating trade talks with Canada in response to the anti-tariff ad released by Ontario Providence government, plunging relations into fresh crisis. So the latest air traffic controller, the Federal Aviation Administration, reported several additional air traffic control staffing problems in its 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern shift time operations planned this afternoon. So this is becoming a major problem for everyone. There have been 217 staffing shortages reported since the start of the shutdown, more than 4 times the number reported on the same dates last year. Usually people vote a certain way because they want to see an action, but I don't see what these people are doing, all right? And every day that the government is shut down, that's another day that technology can't move forward. That's a day that lots of agencies, and you're probably wondering, this is a great question, how many agencies are closed with the government shutdown? How many do you think are closed right now? Well, a lot. A lot. They have closed. They have mitigated down to really low staff. But there are lots. Again, everything that has to do with non-critical operations for life, they are basically shut down. The ones that have to do with life are staying open. Well, that's kind of good, I guess, right? But it's just crazy to me how this works. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. I invite you to check out BelieveMeAchieve.com. These stories, these insights, they're not just interesting points. They're the real truth of our world, our economy, and our life. I invite you to check out BelieveMeAchieve.com, rewatch the show, rewatch the reels, and really start to understand where our economy is actually going. Check out BelieveMeAchieve.com, guys, and I'll catch you guys on another show real soon. Be well, everyone.